But you know, as a preacher of the gospel, sometimes I come along with people who may see my human side, and I do have a human side. I am a part of humanity too. And I was going through the YouTube clips the other day, and there's somewhere close to 50 YouTube clips from clips from some of my shows, and some that are made especially for the YouTube that you would probably enjoy. And they have comments on the YouTube clips that people write in. Most of them don't give their real name on that. Some do, some don't. And of course, I could respond to those YouTube comments and comment, but I just don't. Now, if you send me an email and ask me a question, I'll respond. But I don't respond to the YouTube comments, and there are both positive and negative. You know, like I say, a lot of people don't understand transsexuality, and they speak against me as a transsexual, sometimes because they are mean-spirited and bigoted, but many other times because they simply don't know. Well, at any rate, and I'm going to stop saying at any rate every other sentence now for the rest of the show. I'm just going to speak that out. When I hear myself played back, I think, my goodness alive. Anyway, I was reading through some of the YouTube clips, and one person wrote about me. I knew her, and every time I saw her, she was pissed off and in a bad mood. I think that's how he put, or something to that effect, you know, that she was always angry and pissed off. Well, of course, that isn't true. You know, my moments when I do get angry sometimes, and I do get fed up with people's ignorance, and I do get angry and upset, but I try not to obsess on angry, negative thoughts, but to move on and put them out of their mind. So this person, if what he's saying is true, he apparently ran into me, you know, when I had a bad hair day, and I do have them. And yet I thought to myself, if Jesus read this comment, Jesus would say to that person, let he who was without sin cast the first stone. And if you can say beyond the shadow of a doubt, I am perfect, I have no flaws, I have no faults, I never get in a bad mood, but 24/7 I'm always spiritual, then you can make comments like that about somebody else being in a bad mood. But unless you can truthfully say, beyond the shadow of a doubt, I am perfect, I never let things bother me, I never get upset, then don't make judgmental comments like that about somebody else, because Jesus made it very clear that you will be judged by God, and you and I will be judged by others in exactly the same way that we judge them. That's right. In exactly the way you judge other people, you yourself will be judged. Chickens still come home to roost. And when God looks beyond our faults and sees our need, God sees our heart and our inner emotions, and sees us through the eyes of love, and God's grace overlooks our flaws and sees our needs. And I was thinking about a couple of songs that I want to share with you today, is where I'm coming from. And I wish I could sit here and say, I'm Paula, God has anointed me to preach. Well, that I can say. I know God has anointed this ministry to preach. But I wish I could say, I'm always in a good mood. I always have a smile, but it simply isn't true. At the beginning of this year, I made a little New Year's resolution that from now on, in fact, I put it on this program a while back, the program that was aired at the first part of this year, 2012, I said when I go out in public, I'm always going to smile. No matter how upset I am or how people treat me, I'm always going to smile and be happy. And I'm still working at it, but one day about, a week or two after I made that statement on my program, I was coming out of the shopping mall to get on a bus, And I was just a couple of feet away from where the bus stop was, and there the bus goes sailing by. And that there's anything that gets my goat is exactly that, when I just missed the bus. I would rather have gotten there 2 minutes later and not know that the bus had gone by. But when I'm almost at the bus stop and there goes the bus, and I got mad and out came the swear words, you know. I'm not a physically violent person, but once in a while I do cuss, and I really shouldn't, since I'm known as a preacher, I shouldn't do that in public. I'll acknowledge it, I'll own up to it, and God knows my heart, and God knows that I'm sincere, and that I try to stay in a good mood, but I am not in a good mood 24/7, and I have my pet peeves just like you do. So don't you sit there and point the finger of judgment at me unless you can say that you are perfect 24/7.